Get your ghetto self out of my hotel. Silence. The words hung in the air, heavy and deliberate. Every conversation in the lobby stopped. Shoes froze on marble. Eyes lifted. Heads turned. Maya Richardson stood there, alone, while the insult spread like a stain no one wanted to touch. Derek Walsh didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He reached across the counter, tore the black card from her hand, and slammed it down. Then he placed his polished Oxford shoe on top of it and slowly twisted, grinding metal against stone. People watched. No one intervened. Sarah, the clerk, let out a nervous laugh, sharp enough to hurt. "Should I grab the mop?" she said. "That thing probably has germs." Maya didn't react. Canvas sneakers. Faded jeans. A plain white shirt. A worn messenger bag. In that lobby, her appearance had already decided her worth. If you own everything, but no one sees you as human, what matters more? The digital clock above the desk glowed 11:47 at night. Chandeliers reflected on marble floors. Soft music played, indifferent. Maya bent down and picked up her card. The black metal was warm where his shoe had pressed it. She slid it back into her bag slowly, deliberately. "I have a penthouse reservation," she said. Her voice was calm. She placed her phone on the counter. Sterling Grand Hotel. Penthouse Suite, 45501. Guest, Maya Richardson. Derek barely glanced. "Anyone can fake an email," he snapped. "Do you think we're stupid?" Behind the desk, Sarah typed quickly. "There's a Maya Richardson in the system, but," she stopped and frowned. "This doesn't make sense." "What doesn't?" Maya asked. "The real Maya Richardson would be different," Sarah said. "Important." Derek leaned forward, confidence thick in his voice. "This is a 5-star hotel. CEOs. Celebrities. Diplomats." He gestured around them. "Look at you. Then look around. You don't belong here." Maya checked her phone. 8 minutes until her call with Tokyo. 8 minutes until a deal worth $200 million. 8 minutes before everything shifted. Around them, the lobby began to notice. Whispers. Stares. A woman lifting her phone and quietly going live. Derek straightened his jacket, certain. "I've worked luxury hospitality for 8 years," he said. "I can spot a scammer the second they walk in." He looked at Maya like the story was already over. He had no idea it was just beginning. "I can spot a scammer," Derek said, louder now, enjoying the attention. From the other side of the lobby. He pointed at Maya's shoes. "Those sneakers tell me everything I need to know. They tell me you ride the bus. They tell me you shop at thrift stores. They tell me you've never stayed in a place like this, unless you were cleaning it." A few people laughed. Not everyone. Enough. Maya felt the weight of their eyes, the judgment passing silently from face to face. No one stepped in. No one questioned him. Sarah leaned over the desk, smiling. "He's got a point," she said. "This place has standards." Maya reached into her messenger bag and pulled it open just enough. Inside, a first-class boarding pass was visible. Chicago to Tokyo. Departure, early morning. Next to it, the edge of the same black card Derek had just crushed. "I understand you're busy," Maya said evenly. "But I really do need to check in." Derek laughed. "Busy?" He shook his head. "You've got time. I've got time. We can do this properly." He turned and snapped his fingers toward the back office. "Patricia. We've got a situation." Patricia Wong stepped out, already irritated, clipboard tucked against her chest. "What's going on?" "This woman is trying to scam her way into the penthouse," Derek said. "Fake card. Fake email. Fake confidence." Patricia's eyes swept over Maya, fast and dismissive. Ma'am, I'm going to need government-issued ID. Real ID. Maya slid her driver's license across the counter. Patricia picked it up, held it to the light, tilted it back and forth. This could be fake, she said. Identity theft is very common. Derek nodded approvingly. Good call. Patricia looked at Maya again. Do you understand how much a penthouse costs per night? Yes, Maya replied. And you expect us to believe you can afford that, Patricia said, looking like this. The words landed clean and sharp. Behind them, Sarah's fingers hovered over the keyboard. Should I cancel the reservation? She asked. We could free the room for someone who actually belongs here. Do it, Patricia said without hesitation. Maya's phone vibrated in her hand. A message from her assistant. Tokyo calling in 6 minutes. Conference room is ready. Maya glanced at the time. 11:55. Derek pulled out his phone. Let's not waste any more time, he said. Chicago police. We have a suspected fraud in progress. He didn't look at Maya when he spoke. He looked at the lobby. At the audience. At the power he was enjoying. Maya stood still, phone in her hand, surrounded by strangers who were watching and doing nothing. The injustice hadn't ended. It had escalated. And now, the consequences were no longer theoretical. The phone vibrated again in Maya's hand. Tokyo. Derek noticed it and smiled. Let me guess, he said. Another fake call? You're really committed to this act. Maya didn't answer him. She stepped away from the counter and sat down in one of the leather chairs near the window. Slowly. Calmly. She crossed her legs and answered the call. Good morning, Mr. Tanaka, she said. Yes. I'm at the hotel. Her voice changed the room. Not louder. Not softer. Sharper. Patricia frowned. Ma'am, you cannot take business calls during an active investigation. Maya raised one finger, still listening. One moment. On the other end of the line, more voices joined. Executives. Legal counsel. A translator. Ms. Richardson, Tanaka said, before we proceed, the board has a concern. Your current accommodations. Yes, Maya replied. I'm here. There's a misunderstanding, but it's being handled. Derek laughed under his breath. Maya stood and walked back toward the desk, phone still at her ear. Gentlemen, she said, you may hear some background noise. Please ignore it. Patricia reached toward the phone. You are not allowed to record hotel staff. Maya tilted the screen just enough for them to see. The call was on speaker. No recording. No tricks. Ms. Richardson, Tanaka continued, can you confirm your authority regarding the Sterling Grand Hotel? The lobby froze. Derek's smile collapsed. Patricia blinked. Authority over the hotel? Maya inhaled slowly. Yes, she said. I am the majority shareholder. 51%. Acquired through Richardson Holdings. For a second, no one moved. Then Sarah's hand stopped typing. Derek laughed, too loud, too fast. That's not funny. This is some kind of joke. Maya turned the phone slightly. That information matches our records, Tanaka said. Your name is listed on the ownership documents filed with the city. Patricia stepped back like the floor had shifted. Derek's face drained of color. Maya ended the call and placed her phone on the counter. I didn't come here to prove anything, she said. I came here to rest before a meeting that could affect thousands of jobs. She looked directly at Derek. You chose to humiliate me instead. No one laughed. No one spoke. The lobby, moments ago loud and confident, was now silent, heavy with the sound of consequences finally arriving. Patricia cleared her throat, hands trembling. Ms. Richardson, I had no idea. There must be some internal miscommunication. Derek stepped back from the counter like it had burned him. "This is ridiculous," he muttered. "If you were really the owner, you would have announced yourself." Maya looked at him, almost curious. "Why?" she asked. "So you could treat me with respect?" That landed harder than shouting ever could. Sarah whispered, "Oh my God." Maya tapped her phone once. "Security logs," she said calmly. "Pull the footage from the last 20 minutes. Include audio." Patricia swallowed. We can review that internally." "No," Maya replied. "We'll review it now." She gestured toward the large screen behind the concierge desk. "Project it." A technician hurried over, hands shaking, and within seconds the lobby watched itself rewind. Derek's voice echoed through the speakers. "Get your ghetto self out of my hotel." Sarah's giggle followed. The murmurs from guests turned sharp. The older couple stepped away from Derek like he was contagious. The businessman in the suit ended his call and stared openly. Maya watched without blinking. "Pause," she said. The image froze on Derek's shoe, crushing the black card. "This," Maya said quietly, "is why I never announce myself." She turned to Patricia. "How many discrimination complaints in the last year?" Patricia's mouth opened. Closed. 4, she whispered. "That were formally filed." "And how many were settled quietly?" Patricia's eyes dropped. "All of them." Maya nodded once. "Effective immediately, Derek Walsh is terminated for gross misconduct." Derek lunged forward. "You can't do that. I've been here 8 years." "You've been here 8 years too long," Maya replied. She turned to Sarah. "You're suspended pending review." Sarah burst into tears. "I was just joking. I didn't mean it like that." Maya met her gaze. "That's the problem. You did." She pulled out her phone again. "Human resources will be here in 9 minutes. Legal in 12. Derek's confidence collapsed into panic. "Please," he whispered. "I have kids." Maya's voice softened, but her decision didn't. "So do the people you humiliated." She looked around the lobby, now filled with witnesses who would never forget what they had seen. "Now," she said, "someone please escort me to my penthouse." For the first time all night, the staff moved quickly and carefully. The elevator ride to the penthouse was silent. 2 security guards stood rigid, eyes forward, like statues afraid to breathe wrong. Maya leaned against the mirrored wall, finally allowing the tension in her shoulders to loosen. The doors opened onto the top floor. Glass. City lights. Quiet luxury. A manager rushed ahead, fumbling with the key card. "Ms. Richardson, again, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience." "Inconvenience?" Maya echoed softly. She stepped inside the suite. Floor-to-ceiling windows wrapped the city in gold and blue. The bed was untouched. The room smelled like lemon and linen. "This was not an inconvenience," she said. "It was a pattern." The manager nodded too quickly. "We are conducting a full review." Maya set her bag down and checked the time. 12:07. Tokyo was already waiting. "Please leave," she said. "I have a meeting." The door closed. Silence settled. Maya opened her laptop, adjusted the camera, and joined the call. "Apologies for the delay," she said. "We can proceed." The executives nodded. Business moved forward. Numbers. Timelines. Futures. Outside the suite, chaos unfolded. Human resources arrived first. Then legal. Then corporate compliance. Down in the lobby, guests argued. Phones buzzed. The live stream climbed into the thousands. Jennifer's comments scrolled nonstop. She fired them all. "This is wild. I'm never staying here again." By 1 in the morning, Derek was escorted out through the service exit. No farewell. No dignity. Sarah sat in the break room, mascara streaked, shaking. Patricia handed over her access badge without a word. At 2:30, the board convened an emergency call. Maya joined it from her penthouse, robe on, city behind her. "This is not damage control," she said calmly. "This is correction." They listened. Because now they had to. When the call ended, Maya closed her laptop and finally exhaled. The city kept glowing. Justice, sometimes, takes a few hours. Sometimes, it takes someone refusing to shrink. The next morning, the headline spread faster than the sunrise. Hotel owner denied a room at her own property. By breakfast, it was everywhere. Maya watched the news in silence as she sipped her coffee, standing barefoot by the window. Commentators debated. Lawyers weighed in. Social media picked sides. Some praised her restraint. Others asked why she hadn't revealed herself sooner. Maya turned the television off. Downstairs, staff lined up for mandatory training sessions. New leadership took over. Policies were rewritten in real time. A letter went out to every guest who had stayed in the hotel in the past 2 years. An apology. And a promise. Later that day, Maya stood once more in the lobby. Different faces. Straighter backs. A young black concierge met her eyes and smiled, professional and warm. "Welcome, Ms. Richardson." Maya nodded. "Thank you." No fear. No judgment. Just respect. She walked past the desk, past the marble, past the place where she had been humiliated. It looked smaller now. Jennifer spotted her and lowered her phone. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For not letting it slide." Maya paused. "Thank you," she replied. "For watching." As she stepped outside, the city swallowed her again. Traffic. Noise. Movement. Life didn't stop. But something had shifted. Not because she was rich. Not because she owned the building. Because she refused to accept being treated as less. And everyone saw it. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive with sirens. Sometimes it arrives quietly. In worn sneakers. Holding a black card. And deciding that enough is enough. By mid-morning, the story had crossed state lines. Radio hosts argued about power and prejudice. Morning shows replayed the footage frame by frame. Legal analysts dissected every sentence Derek had spoken, every laugh Sarah had let slip. Maya avoided all of it. She walked through the hotel with the new interim director beside her, clipboard clutched like a shield. "Employee morale is unstable," he admitted. "But many are relieved." "They should be," Maya said. "Fear is expensive." They stopped at the concierge desk. A new policy binder sat open. "No guest is to be questioned based on appearance," the director read aloud. "Assumptions constitute misconduct." Maya nodded. "Train them like professionals, not gatekeepers." In the conference wing, a group of junior staff waited. Nervous. Hopeful. Maya didn't give a speech. She told a story. "I used to clean offices at night," she said. "Same shoes. Same bag. People looked through me." The room stilled. "I learned something early," she continued. "Power doesn't announce itself. It observes." Afterward, several employees wiped their eyes. One young woman whispered, "Thank you for staying." Maya answered softly, "Thank you for listening." Outside, protesters gathered. Some demanded boycotts. Others demanded reform. Maya requested neither. She approved scholarships instead. Hospitality programs. Diversity pipelines. Independent audits. Change, she knew, was quieter than outrage. By afternoon, the city council requested a statement. Maya declined. She had already said everything that mattered. That evening, she packed her bag. Tokyo awaited. The same black card. The same worn sneakers. Different weight now. Not from money. From certainty. As the car pulled away, the sterling grand reflected in the glass, elegant and corrected, like a lesson finally learned. At the airport, no one recognized her. She stood in line like everyone else. Shoes off. Bag on the belt. A young TSA agent glanced at her boarding pass and smiled. Have a great flight, Ms. Richardson. Simple. Neutral. Human. Maya smiled back. On the plane, she settled into her seat and watched the cabin fill. Different people. Different stories. The engines hummed. The city fell away. Somewhere over the Pacific, her phone buzzed with a final message from the board. Full compliance achieved. Media interest declining. Long-term trust recovering. Maya placed the phone face down. She wasn't interested in headlines anymore. She closed her eyes. In her mind, she saw the lobby again. The card on the marble. The shoe. She didn't feel anger. She felt clarity. The kind that comes when you stop asking to be seen and start deciding what you will tolerate. When she landed, Tokyo greeted her with rain and neon. She walked through the terminal, anonymous and unbothered. A woman passed her and whispered to her friend, "That's her." Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Maya kept walking. Because the point had never been recognition. It had been dignity. And dignity, once claimed, doesn't need permission. It simply walks forward. Calm. Unstoppable. Tokyo moved like a living circuit board. Maya stepped out of the car beneath the glass towers of Yamamoto Industries, rain beating on her shoulders. A security guard opened the door, polite, unreadable. Inside, the lobby smelled like cedar and clean air. A receptionist bowed slightly. Ms. Richardson. Welcome. No questions. No double take. No theater. Maya followed a guide through silent corridors to the executive floor. The conference room doors slid open, and Tanaka rose first. Thank you for coming, he said. His tone carried respect, not performance. They began immediately. Contracts. Timelines. Risk mitigation. Maya spoke with calm authority, but her mind stayed sharp in two places at once. Chicago had been a warning. Tokyo was the future. Halfway through the meeting, Tanaka paused. If I may, he said carefully, the incident in your hotel has created concern among our board. Maya didn't flinch. I understand. He nodded. Our concern is not your leadership. It is the system that allowed it. Maya leaned forward. That system is being dismantled. The translator repeated it in Japanese, and the room seemed to breathe easier. By the end of the session, Tanaka slid the final page across the table. $200 million. Signatures waited. Maya picked up the pen and held it for a beat, feeling the weight of the moment. Not victory. Responsibility. She signed. Tanaka signed. Hands shook, firm and final. Outside, cameras flashed. Employees lined the corridor, bowing as the executives passed. Tanaka walked Maya to the elevator. Ms. Richardson, he said quietly, you handled humiliation with discipline. That is rare. Maya met his eyes. Discipline is what you develop when you've been underestimated your whole life. The elevator doors closed. And for the first time since Chicago, Maya smiled. Not because she had proven anything. Because she had built something. And no one could crush it under their shoe. That night, alone in her hotel room in Tokyo, Maya opened her laptop again. Not for business. For the sterling grand. The new interim director was on the screen, looking exhausted. We've completed the first round of terminations, he said. We're also receiving emails. Hundreds. Some supportive. Some hostile. Maya nodded. Read me the hostile ones. He hesitated. Are you sure? Yes. He read them out loud. Accusations. Slurs. Threats disguised as opinions. Maya listened without reacting, eyes steady. When he finished, he cleared his throat. I'm sorry. No one should have to hear that. Maya exhaled slowly. I've heard worse, she said. What matters is what we do next. He nodded. We want to propose a public initiative. Scholarships. Partnerships with local black-owned businesses. Transparent reporting. Maya's face stayed calm, but her voice warmed. Do it. And make it measurable. He typed quickly. We can also invite independent auditors. Quarterly. Good, Maya said. Let the numbers tell the truth. He looked relieved. One more thing. Derek Walsh contacted us through an attorney. He wants severance. Maya didn't blink. Denied. His lawyer says he'll sue. Then we'll go to court, Maya replied. With audio. The director swallowed. Understood. Maya leaned back in her chair and let the silence stretch. When she spoke again, her tone was softer. Listen, she said. This isn't revenge. This is protection. For every guest who walks in here with tired eyes and hope in their chest. The director nodded, visibly moved. I'll keep you updated, he said. Please do, Maya answered. The call ended. Tokyo rain tapped the window like quiet applause. Maya stared out at the neon, thinking about the lobby in Chicago. How small one moment can look. And how far it can reach. Weeks later, the Sterling Grand felt different. Not polished differently. Not branded differently. It felt watched. Training sessions ran daily. Cameras were repositioned. Incident reports were logged and reviewed in real time. Maya monitored it all from a distance. She didn't need to hover. Systems mattered more than presence. In Chicago, community groups were invited into the hotel. Not for photo ops. For audits. Parents spoke. Students spoke. Former employees spoke. Some stories were uncomfortable. Good. Maya listened to the recordings late at night, sometimes pausing, sometimes closing her eyes. Pain, once acknowledged, lost its secrecy. One afternoon, she received an email from Jennifer Kim. I lost my job, she wrote. They said my live stream violated policy. I don't regret it. Thank you for what you did. Maya replied with one sentence. Courage always costs something. It should never be free. She forwarded the email to her foundation director. A grant was approved before sunset. In Tokyo, the deal reshaped markets. Analysts praised Maya's quiet dominance. She ignored the phrase. Dominance was loud. She preferred control. At a private dinner, an investor leaned in and said, "You could have destroyed them publicly." Maya smiled politely. I did something harder, she said. I made it impossible for them to repeat it. The investor nodded slowly. That answer traveled. Executives began to ask different questions. Not how do we protect ourselves, but who do we become if we fail? That shift mattered more than headlines. Because fear changes behavior. But accountability changes culture. One evening, back in Chicago, Maya returned to the Sterling Grand quietly. No announcement. No entourage. Just her, the same sneakers, the same bag. The night staff didn't recognize her at first. Good. She stood in line behind a couple arguing softly. Behind a tired mother with a crying child. When it was her turn, the concierge looked up and smiled. Good evening, he said. How can I help you? Maya slid the black card across the counter. No shoe moved. No laughter followed. He scanned it, nodded, and handed it back with both hands. Welcome back, he said. That was it. Maya felt something loosen in her chest. She walked to the seating area and sat where she had been watched weeks earlier. The marble looked the same. The power dynamic did not. A young employee approached hesitantly. "Ms. Richardson?" he asked. "Yes," she replied. He swallowed. "I just wanted to say, I almost quit after what happened. But things changed. Thank you for staying." Maya stood. "Thank you for staying too." As she headed toward the elevator, she didn't look back. She didn't need to. The lesson had already taken root. Not because someone was punished, but because someone refused to disappear. And that, she knew, was how institutions actually change. The story didn't fade. It evolved. Business schools added it to their ethics courses. Not under leadership success stories, but under systemic failure. Students debated it fiercely. Some argued Derek had been reckless, not racist. Others pointed out how confidence had protected him for years. Maya never joined the discussions. She understood something most commentators didn't. The danger wasn't one man. It was the comfort of many. At a private conference, a young black woman approached her, eyes bright with nerves. "They told me to dress differently for interviews," she said. "To look less threatening." Maya nodded slowly. "And did you?" "Yes." "Did it help?" The woman hesitated. "I got the job." Maya smiled gently. "Then don't confuse access with acceptance," she said. "They're not the same." The woman exhaled, like someone had finally named a pressure she carried daily. Maya returned to her seat. Around her, powerful people spoke about inclusion like it was a strategy. She heard it as survival. In Chicago, the Sterling Grand's numbers stabilized. Occupancy rose. Complaints dropped. Quietly, competitors began copying the reforms. Not because they cared. Because lawsuits were expensive. Maya didn't mind the motive. Results mattered more. Change rarely arrives because hearts soften. It arrives because systems harden against abuse. And once they do, people breathe easier inside them. Late one night, months later, Maya stood on the balcony of her apartment. Chicago stretched below, familiar and restless. Her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "I was there that night. I didn't speak up. I should have. I'm sorry." Maya stared at the screen for a long moment. She typed back. "You saw it. That matters. Do better next time." The reply came almost instantly. "I will." Maya set the phone down. Forgiveness wasn't always about absolution. Sometimes it was about momentum. She thought of the young concierge. Of Jennifer. Of the staff who stayed. Of the ones who left. Progress always leaves footprints. Some forward. Some away. Inside, the city hummed. Maya poured a glass of water and leaned against the counter, grounded. She hadn't planned to become a symbol. She never wanted to. But symbols happen when silence breaks. And silence breaks when someone refuses to play their assigned role. She looked out again. The skyline didn't applaud. It didn't need to. It stood there, changed in ways most people would never notice. And that was enough. Years later, the incident was still referenced. Not as scandal. As precedent. When a junior manager hesitated before judging a guest. When a policy stopped a quiet humiliation before it started. When someone decided not to laugh along. Maya rarely spoke about that night. When asked, she would say only one thing. "I stayed." That confused people. They expected anger. Or pride. But staying had been the point. Staying long enough to change the rules. Long enough to make disrespect expensive. Long enough so the next person wouldn't have to prove they belonged. One afternoon, walking through the Sterling Grand again, Maya watched a young woman check in. Same sneakers. Same tired eyes. No resistance. No suspicion. Just a keycard and a smile. Maya kept walking. She didn't need acknowledgement. The system was doing what it was built to do now. Protect. Outside, the city moved on, unaware of the invisible shifts beneath its feet. That was fine. Justice doesn't need applause. It needs permanence. And permanence is built quietly. By people who refuse to leave.